Hey guys, Dan Carr here. Today I want to share with you a quick story about ticking off one of my all-time photography bucket list items, a trip to go heli-skiing in Alaska. In 2011, a lot of my work was in the winter sports industry, and I worked with most of the major ski brands and many of the best athletes in the world. For most skiers, a visit to the jagged Alaskan peaks is the biggest challenge they can ever face. And the need to access that kind of terrain with a helicopter adds many logistical issues. My trip started with a flight from Vancouver in British Columbia up to Juneau, Alaska. From there we jumped in a much smaller plane and flew up into the mountains to land at a small airstrip in Haines, where our heli-skiing operation was based. In Haines we went with our guides and started to learn more about the terrain that was available for us to access with the helicopters. The problem with heli-skiing is that so many things have to come together for it to be safe to venture out into the mountains. It involves a lot of waiting. Although that does give me some time to create a few portraits of the athletes that I'll be working with. When the weather clears up, we get our first chance to fly out into the mountains and check out the terrain. Having good weather isn't enough though. We also need to have a stable snowpack so that no avalanches are triggered when the skiers take to their lines. Initially, a lot of time is spent flying around checking out the terrain so that the skiers can pick their lines and our guides can check on any potential avalanche danger. As we fly around, the skiers will often take photos of the lines beneath them so that they can study them before dropping into them. Sometimes it's necessary to land to take a closer look though. Standing on top of these lines, it's difficult for them to see where they're headed, so it's very important that they have a clear vision of what they're about to do. They'll also explain to the cinematographer and photographer exactly what their plan is so that we don't miss anything that they never want to have to repeat again. Once a plan is in place, the helicopter will fly the athletes to the top of the ridge and usually leave the cinematographer and photographer in a different place where we have the best vantage point. And now we really get to see the kind of terrain that Alaska has to offer, a skier's dreamland. When it comes to accessing skiable terrain with a helicopter, there's a lot of pressure involved for everyone. Helicopters are expensive, and on a good day's flying, it's not unusual to rack up a bill in excess of $10,000. You don't want to miss the shot when that's the kind of money on the line. Thankfully for me, the two athletes I was working with were consummate professionals, Dane Tudor and Tim Dirchie. These guys spend every day of the winter in the mountains and perform seemingly impossible feats every time they put their skis on, which makes me and my clients very happy. This voice story has been brought to you as part of a 10-day challenge with the Adobe Creative Cloud. If you'd like to read the rest of the blog posts that go along with this challenge, head to the link on the screen now. And before I go, I'd just like to invite you guys to join me on social media as well. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.